Hello, everyone, and welcome back. What's on tap for today? We've got another great video clip. This time, it's a mom of four children. She happens to be a registered nurse, and she is absolutely excoriating the school board, telling them that they are sexually grooming children in the school by allowing pornographic books to be taught in the school district, and these books are available in the library. Also, she mentions that one of the school board members said that one of the books, graphically in detail, talks about the sexual trauma occurred of a 7-year-old with an adult. And the school board member basically said that this book can be a healing to other people suffering from sexual trauma. This RN basically says, "You're full of crap. You don't help people with sexual trauma by detailing sexual trauma." Again, folks, we're going to get into all that. This is a very, very powerful video, and we're going to do that in the next few seconds. But before we do so, I just want to let you know that you're watching the Dr. Nasir Shaikh Show. I'm your guest host. My name is Dr. Nasir. Subscribe to the channel, hit that notification bell, like, share, and follow us. Let's get to this video right now.
Thanks, Rudy. Before I start my comments, I just have a quick question. You seem to want to evaluate the books now that we've told you that there's something terribly wrong with them. I'm wondering, why don't you evaluate the books thoroughly before they get in the school? And it's like we're telling you there's poison in the food, and rather than just removing that food, you're saying, well, let's keep eating it until we have a committee or something. Just remove the poison. We told you it's poison. Okay, so anyway, good evening. I'm a registered nurse. I'm also a mother to 4 students in the district. It seems that the school board is determined to leave books in the library with explicit and disgusting sexual content completely inappropriate for minors. Last week, we had a parent read from a book that talked about in explicit detail the rape of a 7-year-old little girl by her father. We then had a board member go on to say that that would potentially be a helpful book to a student who maybe experienced sexual trauma like that. Either the board is ignorant or you're being lied to. As a medical professional, let me educate you on how to help a victim of sexual trauma. Psychology Today lists 5 research-based strategies to overcome sexual trauma: psychotherapy, mindfulness, social support systems, self-care, including eating properly, sleeping, exercise, and grounding strategies. In fact, it goes on to say, and I quote, "When those who experience sexual abuse have reminders of the trauma, they experience disassociation or severe anxiety."
This is so absolutely true. As a medical doctor, I mean, she is absolutely spot on. Absolutely spot on. What she talks about are those 5 methods, and that's exactly what needs to be done. There's like you said, a board member actually said that these books could be used as a healing process to help people who have suffered sexual trauma, incest, rape, or whatever, minors with adults. And I mean, I was just absolutely astounded by the sheer stupidity of whoever that board member was. That's not what you do. You do not, put back the trauma onto the victim. That's not how you help people. That's not how victims deal with this type of trauma. Anyways, let's continue.
So a book describing in detail a child rape would actually trigger anxiety and cause additional trauma to the poor child who had already gone through it. It will not help them. Chippewa Valley prides itself in how they protect students. Consider all the locked doors, the clear backpacks, and all the drills we have. You have a wonderful CTC program that encourages students to stay away from drugs and alcohol, to seek help for anxiety and depression and other mental health issues. Yet, when it comes to sexual and deviant content in your books, you seem dismissive, passive, maybe even encouraging of the students to consume this content. Society treats children under the age of 18 differently because we understand that they are still developing. They are not fully capable of understanding the consequences of their decisions. There are age limits to drinking, to driving, to gambling, to going to strip clubs. There are age limits to sexual consent. Yet for some reason, you don't think that kids need protection from explicit sexual content in books. Studies show that repeated exposure to deviant sexual content desensitizes a child. And things that...
Now, I just want to chime in here. There will be so many studies that you will see that are thrown at us from the left, from progressives, from the scientific community that basically say, oh, that's not true. There's no such thing as desensitizing anything to anybody. That children will be able to discern and they'll be able to figure this out, or they'll ask questions about sexual content. But it's not going to make them hypersexual. It will not basically do anything to normalize sexual behavior. If you start telling a child at the age of 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, or 10, their early years, they say that's not true. But everybody knows, we all know, folks, that it's called GIGO, right? We've heard GIGO, garbage in, garbage out. If you start to normalize sexual behavior, and especially deviant sexual behavior, and you start to normalize it, and you hide that from parents so that the kids can't ask the questions, and the kids are left to figure out for themselves, or you've got a teacher or an adult who wants to utilize that to groom children in a certain way. That, folks, that's where the problem can be caused. And besides, it's not the function of the state or the school board or the school teachers to teach your children about sexual proclivity, sexual norms, sexual deviancy. It's not their job to teach your children about sex at all, period. Let's get back to the video.
Seemed wrong become normalized. It slowly becomes normal at the age of 13 to be groomed by your older cousin, to be involved in sexual activities with him because you've already read about it. That's just one example of the book that I submitted to be evaluated. It's a book called Not All Boys Are Blue, which incidentally was recommended reading in a post on Schoology by your librarian here at SHIP.
And you're over your time limit now.
And speaking of grooming, you're almost done. Let me remind you how you are creating a perfect sexual grooming environment right here in the schools. Sexual grooming starts with a relationship of trust. I'm sure the students here trust their teachers, their librarians, and their counselors. Once that person has established trust, they isolate their victims, maybe share a confidence or secret with them, something that the board also seems to be particularly fond of, hiding things from parents. Prior to the commission of sexual abuse, the groomer often shares, I'm almost done, sexual content with the minor to desensitize them. How convenient that you have plenty of material for the groomer right here in your libraries. Now, I believe that the large majority of staff at the schools are upstanding. However, why would you permit an environment here in the schools where grooming could so easily happen?
She puts it so succinctly back to the thing. Why would you allow material that would allow grooming to occur? And she basically says 99.99% of the teachers, the school board, the administrators, the librarian with the staff, whatever, they're fine, probably upstanding citizens, no doubt about it. But you have to believe that there might be somebody there who would utilize this. And we hear this all the time, stories all across America where you saw that a teacher had inappropriate sexual contact with a student. Majority of times it's with an adult male and a younger female, or an adult male and a younger male. You do every once in a while hear of an adult female with a minor male, but that's not the norm that you hear in terms of when there's some type of sexual misconduct occurring between, somebody, in a school teacher, with a minor child. It's usually, like I said, the adult male with a minor, female. And again, she basically said, why would you put this out there? Why would you even allow this to be there? I mean, that's, as I said before, folks, it is not the job. It is not the job. It's not the damn job of the school, of the state, to educate your child on sex. Period. That's not their job. Their job is to teach English, math, science, geography, history, the STEM subject. I mean, that's it. To offer protection while they're in school so they're not bullied. Offer them an environment which is safe and nurturing. And the only nourishment that they should be providing children in school is food. And that's it. That's it. Anyways, we appreciate you taking the time to watch this video. This mom was spot on. Urge you to share these videos. This is what we want to put out there to let people know that there are parents, there are patriots out there that are standing up not only for their rights, but for their children as well, to be protected by these, woke school board social justice warriors who don't give a damn. I mean, there's like, I think 12 members on the board there, and it looks like 11 are men. There's one lady. I mean, I just wonder sometimes, how do these people feel about, I mean, they don't care about their children at all? Do they have kids? Do they worry about that? Do they worry about their daughters, their sons? I just, it just amazes me. And I think it amazes, you folks out there as well, that how do these school board members who are people living in the community as well, how do they allow this stuff to go on in their school? How do they allow these books to be disseminated, to be taught in the classroom? And their own children are partaking of it? Are they that liberal? Are they that progressive? Are they that okay with hypersexualizing their children at a young age? Unbelievable. Anyways, we thank you for taking the time to watch. You've been watching the Dr. Nasir Shaikh Show. I've been your guest host. My name is Dr. Nasir. If you haven't done so already, subscribe to the channel, like, share, and follow this video, please. Let everybody know about it. Share it with your friends and colleagues and anyone else out there. I'll leave you with my final thought, folks, which is, when you're right, you're right, and when you're left, you're wrong. We'll see you again next time, folks. Take care and stay safe.